Coinbase just launched a rewards credit card where you can earn up to 4% cash back on your rewards directly into Bitcoin. But is it really that good? Let's get into it. I'm Brett at GuideWise, and here I talk about everything crypto, and this big announcement from Coinbase is pretty huge because 4% cash back seems pretty great, especially when you're putting it directly into Bitcoin and you just get that regularly. Having that stack up over time is going to be a really nice thing for some people. But we're going to talk about what it actually is, how it works, what it costs, what you get from it, and if it's actually good for most people. So let's get into it. Now, first, this was announced in June of 2025.
So, as you said, we launched this credit card with Amex that gives you up to 4% cash back in the form of Bitcoin wherever you spend crypto.
And as you can see, it was reported here on CNBC as well. This was a big deal at the time because essentially they were like, okay, you can get rewards with crypto for the first time. You can get up to 4%, and 4% is great when it comes to a crypto credit card or a rewards credit card in general. But now that it's finally out, you can apply to it. Let's find out what actually is the deal with it. Now, here's their blog post on Coinbase.com. This gives you a really quick screenshot of it. You can get up to 4% Bitcoin back on every purchase. It's available to Coinbase One members in the US and is powered by the American Express network. So if you like American Express, there you go. That's a plus for you. Now, the Coinbase One subscription is $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year. Obviously, you should just do the $49.99 a year. So this crypto card is basically $50 every year. That's your annual payment that you have to pay. It is not a free card, but it kind of isn't since Coinbase One is separate, but you have to have Coinbase One to get it. So you basically have to pay $50 a year for this credit card. Now, ideally, this would be a credit card without a yearly fee. That is, what anybody wants in a rewards credit card for the most part. You can get the most out of credit cards when you don't have to pay anything, unless it's like a really good offering where whatever you're getting is much, much better than what you're putting into it, right? So that's what we're going to compare. I think this is a little bit easier to view on mobile. So I'm going to show you my mobile screen here. Here's the main screen that you look at. It says earn up to 4%. Terms and conditions apply. $49.99 a year. But let's scroll down and go to the first thing that is incredibly important here, and it shows hold more, earn more. Now, as you can see from this screen, it shows how much you need to hold in order to get certain levels of the percentage back. Now, the obvious one right here is that if you are not holding any crypto on your Coinbase account, you are not getting 4%. You are getting 2% in your return rate. If you hold $10,000 in assets on Coinbase, then you are going to get 2.5%, not an additional. You're going to get an additional 0.5%. If you hold $50,000 or more, you will get 3% in rewards. And if you hold $200,000 or more, you can get that 4% rewards rate. So in order to get the full rewards rate of 4%, an additional 2% than anyone else gets, you have to hold $200,000 in crypto. That is incredibly significant for the large majority of Americans. The large majority of Americans don't have $10,000 to put anywhere. So this is honestly pretty high. The large majority of Americans are going to be stuck at that 2% level, and that's it. Now, there are more rewards. We're going to go into that in a minute. But 2%, how does 2% actually stack up? So in order to find out how much we need in spending to get our $50 back in rewards with that 2%, we're going to take 50 divided by 0.02. So you would have to spend $2,500 in a calendar year just to get the $50 back that you would have to pay from the Coinbase One subscription. Now, as I mentioned before, it is a subscription. As you see right here, no annual fee with Coinbase One. It means the credit card itself doesn't have an annual fee, but you have to pay the $50 for Coinbase One, so it's effectively like an annual fee, but I digress. Most people, I think, would spend $2,500 or more if they have this as their main credit card for all of their spending. If 2% is going to outweigh any of your other credit cards and you're going to spend more than $2,500 in a year, okay, that's good. You are going to basically break even from your subscription here. Now, in a random example, if you spend $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year, and we multiply that by our rewards rate, that's $120. You subtract the 50 from your subscription, you're going to make $70 a year. Woo! Okay, that's not crazy. Now, the comparison here is something like the Capital One Saver One card, where you get, 3% on certain things, 8% on certain things. It's a pretty good rewards card, I would say, and it also doesn't have an annual fee. I'm not going to go over a bunch of comparisons in this video, but that is one. If we're comparing a loan on the rewards rate and how much we're getting here, the 2% is not not significant, especially when you're basically cutting it potentially in half with the amount that you have to spend annually on the subscription. It's almost half if you're spending $6,000 a year of your entire reward. So you're effectively only getting 1% back, or maybe like 1.2% back on your purchases, whereas with another card you could be getting the full 2 or 3% back. So for most Americans alone, on the surface of the rewards, I would say we're not in a place where this card is beneficial to you. However, that's not where we end here. There's a lot more things that this card has available. So let's scroll down here. We've got no foreign transaction fees. That's great. We have a lot of cards that have that. You can see if you're approved with no credit score impact. That's great as well. Maximize your experience with Coinbase One. Okay, here's where the benefits help. Coinbase One is where these benefits are coming from. Your $50 a year is getting these other ones. They're not technically tied to the card, but they're tied to your Coinbase One account. The first one is $0 in trading fees on the first 500 or more in trades, and a spread applies. So what does this actually mean? If you're doing about $500 a month in trading, then you're going to be saving on fees. Let's find out how much. Now, just to simplify, I use ChatGPT for this, but you could probably pay somewhere around about $5 a month, let's say $3 to $6 in trading fees per month if you do $500 in trades. So if you're doing $500 a month of trading and your trading fees across that month are about $5, well, multiplied by 12 months, that's $60. So you are saving $10 more than you are paying in your subscription. So that again evens it out. You're basically getting your subscription for free there. Then that makes your reward of 2%. You get the full 2%. Okay. So that is a plus if you are a trader. Let's move on to the next section. Boosted USDC returns, 4.5% APY on the first $10,000, then 4.1. So 4.1 is the rewards rate that you get if you do not have Coinbase One. As you can see here, just quickly using ChatGPT, if you are using the full $10,000 amount there, you are going to get $40 more per year, almost covering your $50 a year subscription for Coinbase One. So another caveat here for Coinbase One, if you are actually putting $10,000 in USDC rewards, then you are actually going to almost cover your subscription fee, then basically allowing your rewards on the purchases to be that full 2%. Now, the other thing here is if you're using that full 10,000, you are then going to qualify for the 2.5% rewards rate for your spending, and so you'll get a little bit more there. And stick around because we're going to boil all this down really simply for most people. Let's go to the next section here. This will give you $120 in transaction credits on the base chain, $10 a month in supported smart wallet gas on base. So what they're saying here is that for gas fees, you can spend $10 per month in gas fees without encumbering any of that. They're going to pay the gas fees for you. As many of us may know, gas fees on any of these chains can vary and they can be different. So if we do any sort of estimate from base case to, moderate and higher and more complex transactions, you can get anywhere from 200 transactions, 20 transactions, or 10 or fewer transactions on base chain, depending on what you're doing and what the actual transaction is. So if you're transacting at least 10 times on the base chain per month, and they're, highly complex transactions and, interacting with decentralized apps or things like that, then you will actually use your transaction credits here. And that's $120. So if you use all of that, that will entirely benefit you more so than your just $50 for your subscription here as well. You'll get another $70 in benefit and savings essentially on top of that. Now we'll scroll down. It also has additional cardholder benefits. You get retail protection, extended warranty, return protection, Amex offers, Amex experiences, worldwide car rental loss and damage insurance, trip cancellation, trip interruption, loss and damage luggage insurance, roadside assistance, and emergency assistance. These are all things that are pretty great when it comes to credit cards, but they're not, deal breakers because a lot of credit cards have them as well. Now the card looks pretty cool. It's stainless steel. That's all great. And now we're basically done with the rewards here. So let's boil this down into a few things to really think about. Who is this card good for? This card, as we look down here through these three main options, the card is absolutely good for people making lots of trades and making lots of transactions, because those are going to pretty much cover your cost for the membership. And then you are going to be getting benefits on top of that. If you don't have Coinbase One and you're doing a lot of trading and doing a lot of transacting, you're paying for those things anyway. And so that base case kind of null and voids the cost of the subscription itself. So then you just straight up get your 2% reward. rewards, and that is good for you. Also, if you're for whatever reason holding USDC and you're trying to generate APY, you're trying to generate interest on that, you're going to get 4.1% without Coinbase One. You'll get 4.5% with Coinbase One. That's going to be an extra $40 if you are, trying to put $10,000 on there or more. Any amount above $10,000 is going to be earning 4.1%. So there is a limit there. But if you are holding at least $10,000 of USDC or even something pretty close to it, you're almost going to be covering your Coinbase One membership just with that benefit alone. So then you can also get your credit card rewards there in Bitcoin as long as 2% or 2.5% is sufficient compared to another credit card that you already have or another credit card that you want that doesn't have an annual fee. So traders, people holding USDC and a lot of it, and people that are transacting on chain, especially on the base chain rather than on Ethereum or on Solana, those people are going to cover the cost of this membership here and actually earn their full 2% rewards rather than, having to encumber this cost and taking away from their rewards. If you are not doing any of those things, you still have to pay $50 a year for this membership, and that's going to cut down on your 2% rewards. It'll effectively make your rewards less than 2%. If your current credit card is giving you at least 2% on pretty much every purchase, then you should stick with that credit card. I think most Americans probably can get a credit card that does 2% with no annual fee. And even there are some that gives you more than 2%, especially on certain purchases. If you're doing lots of travel, the Venture X card is really good. If you're doing a lot of entertainment purchases and restaurant purchases, the Capital One Saver one's pretty good. There's tons of credit cards out there that are probably going to give you better rewards than this one. The people that are really going to benefit from this are the ones that have at least $200,000 or more in crypto assets that they're holding on Coinbase as well. So at the end of the day, that's really who's going to benefit and who probably isn't, and who should choose a different rewards card and just take those rewards and then buy Bitcoin with it if that's what you really want. So let me know where you fit in, what you think about this card, where you think it might be useful for you or not, and if you think you are going to get one. I do like Coinbase as a platform overall. I use Coinbase and Crypto.com to get crypto, so I'll leave links to Coinbase and Crypto.com in the description where you can get at least $50 in free crypto just for signing up with those links. And if you want to get into meme coins, I left a link to MoonShot as well, where you can claim some free meme coins just for signing up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like so others can find it, and subscribe to stay tuned for all things crypto. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.